Good morning! I really enjoyed making a vlog last week, so I thought let's do it again. But for two reasons this time, because first of all, tomorrow me and my boyfriend are going to Venice for 3 days, and I'm so excited about that. Since I moved to Italy, we haven't explored that much of the country yet. Like we did do our immediate surroundings, like Lago di Como, Milano, stuff like that, but not really the rest of the country yet. And there's so many places I want to visit again, because most like big cities I've already visited in my youth when I was on holiday with my parents, but I think it will just be fun to see them again through the lens of like, I live here now. And Venezia was definitely on top of the list. It's one of my favorite cities in Italy. It is so gorgeous. It's like the perfect city to get lost in, like wander through all the little streets. I feel like in winter it will be even more like mysterious than in summer, so I'm really excited to see it in winter. And I definitely want to film a little bit there, so I'm gonna take you guys along in this vlog. And the second reason I wanted to make a vlog this week is because I am on a journey with this brick of a book. I started reading the Count of Monte Cristo, and when I posted about it on my Instagram, I got so many replies from people that wanted to read it as well, and asking if I could do a little read along online so that they would be motivated to finish this book, because it's 1200 pages. So, you know, it's quite a challenge. And I thought it was a really fun idea. So I started the read along on my Instagram in like a broadcast channel. But someone also asked if I could do a reading vlog. And I was like, you know what? That could be fun. So this is going to be a little reading vlog of this book as well. I'm just going to share my thoughts and experiences. So far, my thoughts are that it's so easy to read. I was very intimidated at first because it's a classic, it's so big. You kind of assume that it's going to be hard to read, but it's really not. It's really easy, and it's also very addicting. So I'm just flying through it, which is kind of a problem now because I'm doing the read along and I set a pace of like 100 pages a week so everyone could keep up. But that kind of means I have to hold back a little bit now because I don't want to go too far in the book that I kind of forgot my thoughts when we're going to do the discussion each week. So I'm trying to take it slow, but it's hard. In the introduction, I don't know who wrote the introduction. Okay, Robin Buss, that's the translator of the book as well. He wrote in the introduction that The Count of Monte Cristo by some people is considered a children's book because of the way it is written, which it makes a lot of sense. Like for the themes of the book so far, I would not say it makes sense. Like the political situation is quite complicated. I had to look it up. But in terms of writing and how like adventurous it feels and how easy it is to get through, I could see this being like not a children's book, but for like 13-year-olds maybe. I guess that could work. So in that sense, I'm very surprised so far, and I'm just really enjoying it. I was really looking forward to having like a super long read with like this epic adventure. There's drama, there's the theme of revenge. I can't wait to just be swept away by a long story like that, to be honest. So I'm very happy I started this. And yeah, throughout this vlog, I will just update you on how that's going. But first, Venice. Louis, are you on your fancy bed? Louis is looking like the King of France in this room. The room is very nice. We went for like a typically Venetian look for the hotel because I just thought it was fun. And it delivers. It looks so good and so royal. And the view is also very good. We've been in Venice for like 1 hour and I already bought a book. And I'm gonna visit so many more bookstores, so that's gonna be fun. Here's Joe. Are you having a good time?
Great time. So far we visited a bookstore and now we're on the way to a second bookstore. So,
Priorities.
pretty good.
We're now having classic Venetian cicchetti, which are like little bites you would have during aperitivo. So, cheers. Good morning. It is day 2 in Venice, and oh my god, I'm so tired from walking yesterday. I think we walked like 20,000 steps, and if you've been in Venice, you know those 20,000 steps also include like 40 bridges at least. So I'm so sore, and we still have 2 more days to go. So we maybe went a little bit too hard on the first day, but it was really fun. Yesterday we decided to, not really have a set plan. We just wandered around in the city, and Venice is the best place for wandering. Just, walking around without a plan, exploring all the little alleyways, all the little bridges, the canals. It was so stunning. Like every corner we rounded was just another postcard. That's how beautiful the city is. And we're really lucky because we're here right before the carnival starts, which is the 14th of February, I think. Just this huge event here where everyone dresses up with like the typically Venetian masks and the traditional clothing. And then it gets really crowded here, but we are here right before that. So right now the city is relatively empty and quiet, which is really nice because Venice can get very, claustrophobic when it's crowded. But right now it's actually pretty good. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun. Today the plan is to visit a museum, one of the palazzos around here, which were houses from like the rich merchants that lived here in like the 17th, 18th century. And all of their houses are now turned into museums, and they preserved all the beautiful rooms. So I think we're going to visit one of those. And another thing I would love to visit is this beautiful cafe that is like on the other end of the city. I think it's a plant store, but it also has this beautiful, huge garden room greenhouse that they turn into a cafe, and it looks out into the garden. And the videos I've seen of it are just stunning. So, hey, say hi. He just came back from his walk with Joe. But anyway, we're gonna see if it's worth going to the other end of the city for that cafe. And yeah, that is the plan for today. And now we're gonna have breakfast in the breakfast room. back at the hotel after a day of exploring. Endometriosis really started kicking my butt after 2 days of walking, unfortunately. Because of the pain in my lower back, I cannot really walk or stand for a super long time anymore, and it's really getting worse. So I don't really know what's up with that, but right now I really had to take some rest and stay at the hotel. So Giovanni is off exploring on his own with his camera, just taking photos. And I decided to go down to the hotel bar with the Count of Monte Cristo and just read a little bit, maybe take an Aperol Spritz. So excited. I just passed page 200 of the Count of Monte Cristo and I'm still absolutely loving it. It's just such an immersive story and I love the historic atmosphere. So yeah, that is the plan. I just wanted to show you quickly which book I bought yesterday because I realized I didn't tell you about it. It's Wandering Through Life by Donna Leon. Donna Leon is an author. I did not know her work, but I had seen this book around a few times. And it's a memoir of her life and travels, especially her time in Venice. So I thought it was very fitting to buy this here. And I love nothing more than a slow memoir of an artist or a writer. It's my favorite thing to read. One of my favorites in the genre is M Train by Patti Smith. I read that while I was alone in Paris for a week a few years ago. And, just taking the time for yourself in a strange city, sitting down with a coffee, and then reading a book of a person that did the same things but has like such a unique outlook on life. I love it. So I'm hoping this one will do the same for me. And I also bought a little postcard as a souvenir. I'm not a big souvenir buyer, but the only thing I will always buy is books and art prints and postcards because you can hang them on your wall, you can stick them in your journal, and that way you don't have like a huge collection of random souvenirs, but you do have a memory of the place. And I love that. And I decided to get this photo postcard just because the atmosphere really embodies Venezia for me. It's so mysterious and the historic dress, I love it. Aside from that, we haven't been shopping a lot, so I haven't really bought anything, but we still have one more day tomorrow, so who knows. And this morning we went to Palazzo Grimani, and it was a little bit disappointing in the sense that there was not that many rooms to see. I was hoping to see like the interiors of the house as it was in like the 17th, 18th century, but that was not really the case. But the real selling point of this palazzo were the gorgeous ceilings. Like every ceiling was such a beautiful artwork on its own. And this sort of statue room, and you've seen the clips, it was so beautiful, especially because there was one statue hanging from the ceiling that was with like a bird with wings. It was absolutely stunning. And Louis is making a nest. And it was so quiet, so we were the only ones in that room, so we could enjoy the silence and like the beauty of the statues on our own, and that was really, really amazing. And other than that, we just wandered around again. We visited the market and a book cafe called Sulla Luna, which someone on Instagram recommended to me. The palazzo was actually also recommended by someone. And the book cafe was super cute. We just sat in the sun there, and the sun, it's been so warm here. It's amazing. Like having this much sun in February, I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling so good. So that was great. And yeah, now it's just time to grab my book and go downstairs to the cafe. are back home from our trip in Venice, and it was absolutely magical. Venice as a city really feels unreal because it's very like you step through a portal into history. There's no cars there, no motors, no bikes, so there's nothing to take you out of the fantasy that you're just walking through a city in like the 18th century. And it's amazing. I was really having the time of my life. I also never walked as much in my life because, like I said before, the only way to really transport yourself is by walking because of all the bridges and all the steps, or by boats. And we discovered the boat possibility a little too late, I feel like, because on the last day we took the water bus to the other side of the city, and it was the best experience of my life. Like, people are not lying when they say you need to see Venice from the water. It just makes it 10 times more magical. And you don't have to pay like 120 euros for a gondola to have that experience because the water bus only is like 10 euros. And it was just as amazing, in my opinion. You go over the Grand Canal and you just see all the beautiful historical buildings from the boat. I was sitting in the sun getting tan. It was amazing. So I'm really glad we went. I feel so inspired again. There was just so many beautiful things there. I love the sort of like hedonistic, almost circus-like atmosphere that is in Venice because with all the masks and decorations they have, it's very colorful. I don't know, it does something to me. It's very inspiring. And it was just a great trip to do for a few days. I just realized I have to update you on the Count of Monte Cristo since this was also going to be a reading vlog. Let me get my copy. Here it is. It's gradually becoming more and more like battered down. It's not looking great. I'm currently at page 380. And last Friday, I did like my first book club discussion, for which I also did a lot of research on the book and like the themes in the book. And I read up a lot on Rousseau's theories from his book, The Social Contract, which are theories on free will and power and corruption and the influence of society on that corruption. Basically, he argues that every person is born like free and virtuous and like basically as a good person. But as we grow up, we slowly become corrupted by society because society is corrupt, and for us to thrive in society, we have to become corrupt as well. So it's not really like we can't really avoid it. And this book really connects to those ideas, which is super interesting because basically Dante's, the main character, he's like a super good guy. He's quite naive. He believes the best in people, and then he gets wrongfully imprisoned. And this leads to like a tale of revenge when he comes out. So basically he starts out as this super innocent good guy, but then he becomes corrupted by the events that befall him and becomes like sort of bad himself as well. I don't know to what extent because I'm not that far yet, but I found it really interesting to have this more like philosophical, theoretical background when reading on in this book because it makes me think about everything that happens way deeper, which makes the reading experience way more fun. Because at the start, like I liked it, but the story isn't very layered. Dumas doesn't really let you think about what is happening and what the motivations and intentions of the characters are. He really like writes it out for you, which makes it feel a little bit childish sometimes. Like I said before, this was often regarded as a children's book, which like it kind of makes sense in the way that it's very simplified because you know all the intentions and motivations of all the characters and why they're doing certain things. But if you look at it from the lens of like corruption and the question of can we ever really remain good in like a corrupt society? And is the corruption inherent to us or is it imposed upon us from the outside world? And something else I did not expect but find really enjoyable is how you get to know like the sort of changed version of Dante's, like after he comes out of prison, through the eyes of all the other characters that sort of encounter him, which makes him sort of shrouded in mystery and makes him a much more like mysterious character that is very hard to grasp. Like you want to keep on reading to catch more glimpses of this new Dante's and you want to know what he's up to, but they're not fully telling you, which makes this very enjoyable and already much more layered than the start of the story. So I'm still having a really great time reading this. I will update you more later this week, but I doubt that I will finish this one in this vlog. But my lazy Sunday is definitely going to include some more reading of this book.